Hello guys, today's session we are going to discuss about COUNTIF and COUNTIF, SUMIF and SUMIFS in Excel. So this is really a very important topic in Excel guys. Normally in daily basis in office, companies, people are using this function because this is really required for the daily basis, most probably. Right, so what is the COUNTIF and COUNTIF, SUMIF and SUMIFs, and what is the use of this daily basis, right? And what is the main perspective for using this? So let's just step by step introduction of this. What are the conditional functions in Excel? So first of all, guys, we are going to cover the theory parts. After theory parts, we are going to the practical. Okay. First of all, before starting anything or any specific module topic, first of all, you should know like what is a conditional construct, what is a like a count type summary for any specific topic. Suppose in Python, Java, SQL database backend, any specific. First of all, you should know what is this, why we are using this, and when we are going to use this, right? When, why, and how this thing happened, then how it is happening, when happening, right, and why happening. So first of all, we are going to cover the theory. After theory parts, we are going for the practical. Okay. So what are the conditional functions section? Why using COUNTIF, SUMIF instead of manual filtering? So COUNTIF action like a formula, you can see COUNTIF range and criteria. Yes. Once you use the formula, as you know in Excel, we are using formula with equal sign. So in COUNTIF, first of all, we define the range and criteria. Like very simple example. Suppose I want to check how many people present and absent. So in present column, we select all the range of the particular column and in criteria. Suppose I'm looking for presents, I put P, absent, absent. Suppose A, suppose I'm looking for gender wise, like how many male and how many female in my data set. So I will select the column of the in the range gender column and criteria will define male and female as well. Any specific one. Okay. Like suppose you're looking for a student program, who are the data science, how many people for DA program, how many people for data science, business analyst, Java. Okay, any specific one. Meaning counts the number of cell that made on condition. It will going to count the number of cell which are going to satisfy the condition based on that. Example count if we select the range, you can see A2 to A10, like suppose apple. So count how many times apples appeared in that cell. County functions, so count ifs. So here question going to be discussed. What is the difference between count if and count if? So let's see. Here formula is going to be again count if. So see criteria range 1, criteria 1, criteria range 2, criteria 2, criteria 3, 4, number of them. Okay. So in count if we have only one range, guys, you can see only one range, one criteria. Whereas in count ifs, we have a number of range and number of criteria. This is a major difference between, isn't it? So meaning like count cell that meet multiple condition, like which one satisfy the multiple condition made in the cell multiple time, that one you're going to choose the meaning. Example countifs, again you have to select the range, then criteria range select and criteria 1 apple again, criteria range 2 and again criteria again given a 50. Then counts with the cells like greater than equals to 50, greater 50. SUMIF functions. So formulas, SUMIF range, you're going to define range, criteria, sum range. Okay. Meaning, so here also going to be sum range, first range, criteria, and sum range. Like very simple example. Suppose I'm looking for the, so I have a data of the student, right? And I'm looking for that particular name, like how many Ankit in my data set, count the marks of the all Ankit. Suppose I have a product, suppose hardware product, I want to count all the laptop or any specific product from the given list. In that scenario, you have to use the sum range. Meaning add values that meet one condition. Okay, an example like sum if again is like the range, criteria, again range, again you're going to the sum cells of the apple. Same as you're going for the sum ifs. Formula sum if sum range, criteria range, same way going to be here also same range, but here sum range coming first, but in sum if sum range coming the last. Did you see guys? So here you are able to provide the number of range and number of criteria. But in sum if we are able to provide only one range, one criteria. Okay. Same going to be meaning add value that made the multiple condition. Example sum if and you give define the particular condition like previous one. Like you can see functions, condition, action is going to be count and example as you can see here in the table. Real life examples like count if count employee in HR department, count ifs count the employee in HR with the salary greater than 40K, sum if total sales of the product like Apple, and sum if total product of the Apple in the resonance. Okay, so this was the simple theory part. Tips and best practice like use cell reference instead of like a hard coding criterias. Use like wildcards like asterisk, question marks. There's so many of them in COUNTIF and SUMIFS. Criteria but the number of text must be in the quotation. Obviously, once you define the criteria, this is not most probably is a string value. So we have to use a double quotation. Okay, suppose I'm looking criteria name of the student, suppose any text. So you have to put the double quotation. Conclusions, quick recap for difference when you count if vs count if, sum if vs sum ifs. Okay, so this was the theory, guys, inside. Okay, this was the theory part which one were discussed here. In previous section, we discussed about the data validation, right? After count if, sum if, we are moving for once we complete the practical of this, we moving for the lookup function. Okay, what is lookup function, why we are going to lookup function, that one we are going to discuss. So this was the theory part of this. Now in next video we are going to complete the practical one by one, count if and count if